little morning unfolding. So let me ask you this, tuned in. Where do you think you are? And where do you think really ask yourself that question? I know I love saying this, but really ask yourself that question. Where do you think you are? And where do you go? Where do you think the ship that you're on is taking you? Because you are on a ship. You're on a very big ship, very large and sophisticated piece of bio machinery that we call Earth, right? You're not just on a ship, though, right? You're on a ship that can travel not only to and fro, which it does on a regular basis, but you're also on a ship that can travel through space, right? Right. So really, really think on that for me for a little bit. Um, I want you to talk to you about the importance of your home. I want to talk to you about the importance of where you find yourself, where all of us find. I am here to help you orient yourself. So let's call it, if this was some sort of video you're watching in an underground bunker that sort of like signified um, um, and objectively showed the current state of our world, it would be some sort of rundown, underground shelter space. If you're watching a crappy old, recording of me telling you this, so call this orientation, right? Welcome to hell, volume one, right? Um, you are in the darkest possible timeline, and so am I. That's why I get to speak. Um, doesn't matter how we got here, even though we did. Um, doesn't matter what's going on, but you should have noticed if you're in the spiritual fields, and not only if you're just an intuitive person, you should have noticed, right? Some things just don't add up. Other things are just too dark. Some things are just too bleak. Um, there are elements that just don't feel right and haven't felt right for a very long time. There's an overwhelming sense of anxiety and fear and defeatism and nihilism and so on and so forth. There's an overwhelming amount of aggression and brutality and death. All of these terrible truths and dark secrets and conspiracies unfolding, turning out to be true, yada yada. Um, I'm gonna keep it short today, but I want you to understand a very important thing. Okay, no matter what happens on the outside, no matter what, because humans are portals, they can extend these these portals onto the things they find value in and beauty in. If you build a beautiful home, you've built your spaceship. If you want to travel between dimensions, right? If you want to have a say um, about where the steering wheel goes, where the steering wheel takes us, right? You also have a small part in playing where that steering wheel, turns. Um, your home holds your energy. Even if you're someone who doesn't believe in this crap, oh, I don't believe in energy. I don't believe that we shift quantum states and we shift timelines. Blah blah blah. I don't care because you're here. You're in hell with the rest of us. Okay. I don't mean to say that as a scary thing. I'm just informing you of where you are. This place where you are, and you probably had this feeling for the longest time, perhaps ever since your childhood, as most of us have who are in this field. This place could be so much more. This place could be so much more beautiful, so much more welcoming, so much more healing, right? Reminiscent of of beauty, right? There's so much beauty possible in the world, yet we see so little of it come manifest, right? So really think on that every day, concentrate, like I told you, meditate on what is the most beautiful thing you can see. The most beautiful thing you can possibly imagine is the highest state of consciousness can access. And if you can access that consciousness, and you can become inspired by it and build and decorate your home, your shelter according to that, by taking inspiration from that, your spaceship is ready for travel. If you have it, if your home is a hollow and empty place, because the outside world is about to become a very hollow and empty space. You understand what I'm saying? It already has. It already has. The general static default energy of the world has never been so disappointingly, embarrassingly dark and fragile and frail and desperate. I need you to build a beautiful home. That's what I need to do. If each of us built a beautiful home, um, we would repair and fix this spaceship. Your home holds your energy. It holds your reality in place, and it's very, very difficult to take things away from you, to take beauty away from your reality when it remains in the space of your awareness, where it remains in a place you can become consciously aware of it. So that's really all I want to say. But I'm going to keep talking for 5 more minutes just so I get your attention to know that you understand, because they really need you to understand. Um, your home is your spaceship, and I want you to start acting like it. I want you to start treating like it. I want you to understand that your energy is that there's a holiness to your energy bring about in this world. Well, firstly, you have to master that energy and sort of like clean it up, give it a little, you know, give it a little hygiene, so to speak, spiritual hygiene. But then, when you're in that space, when you've meditated, when you've understood, when you've sat down and imagined the most beautiful thing you could possibly imagine, right? Which is the closest you can get to seeing the face of God, the face of creation, the face of divinity, um, something akin to a kaleidoscope effect, right? But don't limit yourself to that. See these fractal shapes unfolding. See this thing grow before your eyes. Really, really try to imagine the most beautiful thing you can and get in that mind space. And once you're there, once you've seen this, understand that that is the degree, that is the divine standard that you must reach in the external world. It is your duty and responsibility as someone who is spiritually apt to take this concept of beauty and inspiration and unfold it, allow it to blossom with your hands and fingers and arms and everything into the material world. And where can you do that? You can do that at home. Um, Build me a beautiful home. I don't care about your career. I don't care about your daily struggles. I don't care about your, um, whatever. It's unimportant. I don't care about how you make money. I don't care about how I make money. To this day, I don't know how I make money. I don't care about those things. What I care about is getting you the hell out of this timeline. A lot of great effort and deception has gone into bringing us to where we are now, where exhaustion and defeatism and nihilism and so on and so forth, these things run rampant. And if you're a connoisseur of the magical arts or the esoteric tradition, obviously you will have noticed this, and you will have known this for a very long time. If you're just getting into it, no problem. Just understand this: you have the power to heal yourself. You have the power to bring yourself to where you wish to go. You have the power to keep things that you find value and beauty in this world. We are co-creating this world. Try not to subscribe to the things, because all of those are traps. They're temptations. Try not to subscribe to anything you don't want to see in your world, or that you don't find beautiful, that you don't find up to your standards. And your standard, remember, needs to be the highest standard, the most beautiful, the most divine standard there is. Um, every day, there is a constant bombardment, there's a constant effort to trick you into engaging with the world and subscribing to its lesser ways. Every single day. Every single conflict, every single material deficit that might occur or happen to you, every single problem, every single conflict or war or battle or whatever, all of these things tempt you to co create them. Why do they tempt you to co create them? Because they are what we call egregores. And egregores are these, imagine them as these pockets of collective energy that have conceptualized themselves as like this semi sentient being that which only has one function: to feed and to give. It'll give you a little bit of excitement in order to reel you in so you can then feed its existence, because the egregore cannot exist if you don't believe in it. Right? Um, I want you to understand, look at the world from that perspective. You don't understand fully. I get that. You don't fully understand where you are, which is fine. But look at the world as an input output system. Whatever you input into it will be outputted back to all of us, not just you. And what is currently outputted onto all of us will determine the quality of our inputs. You can defy this. You can, and you must try every day, because you can play a big role in the grander destiny of this world. They don't want to tell you this. They want to tell you you're small. They want to build skyscrapers to make you feel like you don't matter. You're like an ant, blah, 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 blah. But you are a painter, a co creator of possibly the masterpiece of this world, which is the highest an eventual inevitable destiny of our planet, which is to go home, to take us home, to take us to that higher state. So keep that image in mind. Meditate, even with me right now. Close your eyes. You don't have to hear every word I say. It's just an exchange of energy. So close your eyes, do me a favor, and slowly, very slowly, put yourself onto a plane of nothing. And then on that plane of nothing in the far distance, try to imagine a beautiful thing unfolding. Whatever it is, don't force the image, just flow with it. It can get a little bit wonky or comical at first. We don't care. Those are your subconscious programs trying to sabotage you. Just wave goodbye to them. So you're like, hey, how you doing? I know what you're up to. Goodbye. Now let's get to the real show. And now, from that distant point in that void or space, imagine like a kaleidoscope, uh, 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 an onset of colors. They're unfolding from within this sort of like space or quantum field, and they're unfolding into these beautiful fractal forms. They're grandiose, they're full of grandeur, they're beautiful, and they're slowly taking shape. And the shape is of everything that you find beautiful in this world. If that emotion, if that overwhelming feeling of bliss had a form, it would take that form. Really imagine this. What is the most beautiful thing you can possibly enable yourself to see? What is the most beautiful form? If we're talking about prayer and worship, um, that is something that you can aspire to do this with, right? Because that's the closest you can get. The power of your imagination is limitless, my friends. I'll talk about this later in more detail, but That is the closest you can get. And maybe you're unimpressed for now. Maybe you're very impressed. Maybe you're in awe, but maybe you're unimpressed. I feel like most people would be unimpressed, but it's okay because when you imagine that form, the first thing you notice is that it is a shifting, moving thing. It is a living, breathing, sentient thing. And as you allow it to unfold, and as you meditate on this on a daily basis, it will become more and more beautiful. And it will lead you as a portal. That portal will lead you to an incredible mind space. An incredible mind space. Um, it'll open up so many things to see and so many things to know and understand. It will give you the context, the filtration lens for life. It will give you the context of the meaning of life and beauty. So really hold that image in your mind. And as you're holding that image in your mind, become inspired to take that emotion that comes with it, the emotion you feel with it, and to somehow, in your own interpretive way, in a bout of spontaneous creativity, pull it into the material realm. Subjugate the material realm to the beauty and the grandiosity of that vision. And if you can do that, you have just become a magician of the highest order. If you can do that, you have accessed that which lies beyond the trivial and the mundane and the outputs that the world is giving us. You have just inputted something so defiant of what they want to make this world be, um, that you might have just changed your own outlook. You might have just inputted a little bit more beauty into this world. Now it's about allowing others to see and allowing others to know that this is a possibility. When I walk down the street, every morning, my hands are on fire. Um, I have I carry wings on my back. You know, I shoot golden rays of sunshine at people's heads. It's all in my imagination, of course. But who ever told you that your imagination is what you think it is? Whoever told you that your imagination is just what it is? Do you know that most magic, no matter how bleak or good, is done through the process of visualization? Because visualization not only allows you to create abstract forms of thought and conceptualize geometry and yada yada, but it also directs energy. You can create a tube or a portal or a channel through visualization through which you can direct energy to do things and serve you. So visualize your home and visualize how it can be beautiful, how it can be made beautiful. You have had the greatest tool. You have had your third eye open this whole time, right? You could envision beautiful things in this world, and God gave you two legs and two arms to go and then create it and make it happen. Your life is far more grandiose than you think. What you do is of ultimate importance, much more than you think. You matter more than you know. But at the same time, you matter very little because you've made yourself very little. You've made yourself a non factor in this grand theater of life. Is it your fault? Partially. Only partially. Um, it's a difficult space to maneuver. But I want you to understand that your home, your house, is a portal to that place of beauty. When we enter your house, when I enter your house as a guest, I need to feel that divine presence. It's like entering a temple, right? I need to feel what that beautiful thing is. I need to know that it's seeped inside the walls of your home, right? I need to feel it, and everyone else needs to feel it, and you need to feel it. And when the world puts you down, when you get back home, that is what is going to recharge you. That is what is going to remind you about what really matters. How beautiful and full of bliss your life could be. I'm not saying it is. I'm not trying to convince you that it is. We live in a very dark world right now. But I'm saying, think of the possibilities. Think of all the beautiful things that could be, but for some reason, for some very strange reason, are not. Really focus on that. Put that in your mind's eye. Let obsess over it just a tiny bit. Just let it linger in your mind. Let that linger in your mind. The best you can do is yet to come, my friends. Understand that.